The stage. Put your hands together for Ewan. Ooh. Got you.
I have some new jokes. England is just like America, right? Except everything's all backwards and opposite and shit over there. Like, they drive on the opposite side of the road, right? They have like a king and queen and all that. And they play baseball in England. But it's all like some weird bizarro type of baseball, right? Called cricket, right? And then they play football too, but it's like some weird bizarro football called fucking rugby and shit. And over there, they call soccer football. They don't even know what the word soccer is. For an English person, soccer is what you do to your wife. It's soccer. Yeah, I learned that the Hoover Dam has enough concrete to make a 4-foot wide sidewalk that stretches all around the world. I was like, that's a lot of damn concrete. Yeah, poker is the #1 card game on earth. It's also how I asked my girlfriend for sex. Poker. Alright, here's some Christian jokes because I've been trying to get to this Christian. Alright, it says, God blesses the faithful. And some he blesses a little too much. It's like, whoa, hey lady, can you put a sweater on or something? I came here to worship God, not to fight Satan. Let's see. Let's try this one. I gotta at least try it once. Alright, the price you pay for God's love and the ticket to heaven is simply faith, right? Well, that you have to obey God's rules. I mean, you can't just be stabbing people like, I believe, I believe. I was watching this guy getting baptized, but it seemed kind of weird, And I was thinking, I'm pretty sure baptisms are supposed to be performed in a river, not in a fish tank. A lot of these churches, they get real creative in doing baptisms. Some churches will baptize you with nothing more than a bottle of water and shit. I'm like, is that special water at least? I'm like, no, it's Dasani. Let me try these again. All right, why should you always bring a basket of apples to math class? Because the Bible says to be fruitful and multiply.
Oh. Damn. That's good.
Yeah, I think I know how Jesus got 12 people to follow him, right? He's like, hey, you want to follow me? And you give up everything and follow me and shit? They're like, no. It's like, I can turn water into wine. Let's go. Most people, or most black people anyway, always like to say that Jesus was black, But no one really knows, right? What we do know is that Mary was like Mary was like a Palestinian Jew, right? So whatever Jesus was, he was half of whatever Mary was, and then whatever God came down as. So he could have been half black, He could have been half white. Hell, Jesus could have been half Asian. But I think we all agree that he wasn't half Asian, because he never had any money. And it says in the Bible to love your neighbor like you love yourself. So I went next door and jerked him off. Yeah, I grew up Christian, It's kind of weird how now Christian is like kind of like a verb now, right? Because I am Christian, but I'm not Christian. If anything, it's more like, I'm Christian. Those are all my Jesus jokes. Yeah, the other day last time I drove through a hailstorm, my windshield got all smashed up and shit. I was like, oh, hell no. And one thing I noticed that white people do, that only white people do, is that they'll use the back of their cars to showcase their political beliefs, Like with bumper stickers and all sorts of they coexist and, all different types of things. And they're the only people that do that, right? Like, if you ever see a black guy with a Harris Walls bumper sticker, I guarantee that he's driving his wife's car. Or actually, if it's a Harris Walls bumper sticker, he's probably driving his husband's car. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the car company Volvo, they're starting a new sister company geared towards women. Yeah, the new company's gonna be called Volvo. What's red, white, blue, and brown? George Washington's poop. I was born and raised in LA, so I'm a bit of a expert when it comes to earthquakes, right? Because I felt it my whole life. The first thing you gotta know about earthquakes is that if it's not a 6.0, it's not even a real earthquake, you know? It's just a tremor or something, right? Anything under, whatever, it's not even worth changing your life over. Like if you're asleep and you feel a 5.9, you just go back to sleep, you know, nothing's gonna happen. But a 6.0 is definitely a national tragedy. You know, people will die during 6.0, like around 30 of them. Most likely they'll get squished by the crappy apartments, or they'll be driving like on a bridge and the bridge will collapse. So if you're in a big earthquake and you're inside of a building, just go outside, you know? Because if you're outside, an earthquake cannot hurt you, unless you're driving on a bridge, right? Yeah, and what you're supposed to do there if you're driving on a bridge is you pull over, put it in park, you put your head between your knees, and you kiss your ass goodbye. And you know, when you hit a target in the very center, it's called a bullseye, right? That's strange, like, when was shooting a bull in the eye ever a thing? It never was, right? If anything, they should call it girl's eye. And you know the national dish of Korea? National dish of Korea is kimchi, right? All it is pickled cabbage with chili pepper flakes and shit. That's it. Yeah, like you eat that crap for a couple months, even you'd be like, we're cooking that fucking dog. And what did the gay lawnmower say to his boyfriend? Your ass is grass. Yeah, I learned that when a bobcat's mating call sounds like a woman screaming. Yeah, so I guess my neighbor has a horny bobcat. Yeah, you know, the coolest, when I was in the Army, I saw a lot of cool things, right? Like grenades going off, rocket launchers and shit. But I would say the coolest thing I ever saw was night fire at the gun range, right? Yeah, when you're doing night fire, you don't close your eyes and shoot, like aim like that, no, you know. You keep both eyes open and you just start shooting, right? And what it is, every third bullet is like a tracer round, you know, it glows red and shit. And so you're adjusting by, you know, where you see the tracer goes, you know? And so anyway, behind each target is like this berm, right? Like a hill. So after you hit the target, it shoots it up into the air, right? And so I was like walking past and they start shooting, and it looked like a motherfucking like a space battle, dude. This would look like it was like that. They would go down range and they'd fly up into the air and shit. And then from my angle, right, it just looked like that, like, right? It was crazy. And like some of them, you know, would like spiral out and shit. And every now and then you'd see one like go down range, like, and like come back at you and shit. Yeah, it was crazy. I was like so mesmerized, like I forgot what I was even doing and shit. And when I finally got to the bathroom, I almost forgot to jerk off. Yeah, I was at rehab last month. It was cool, you know, get a break from drinking and stuff. But people there, everybody there was smoking cigarettes like crazy. Like all day, they were just like, you know, drinking will kill you. Yeah, I did my 23andMe last year, but the results were kind of confusing. Yeah, they just sent me back a pair of chopsticks. Yeah, when I was a kid, He-Man was the #1 cartoon, you know. That wasn't his name, those were his pronouns. Yeah, my ex-wife, she was a horrible cook, you know. Like, the only thing she could make for dinner was, like, spaghetti and dinner reservations. And whenever she cooked eggs, you know, they were always, like, undercooked and runny as hell. You know, she'd be like, hey, how's that omelet taste? I don't know, this fork isn't working too well. Do you have a straw? And whenever she'd cook a steak, she'd cook that steak to death and shit. Yeah, it looked like beef jerky and shit. Like, oh, you know, no, don't throw it away. Here, I'll put it in the glove compartment. Yeah, I put my ex-wife in charge of my family's business, and she ran that business just like carrots, yeah, into the ground. The only good thing about my ex-wife was the sex. Yeah, she really put out. So my neighbor keeps telling me. Yeah, LA's kind of like whatever. LA's kind of like New York in that it's an international city, right? But unlike New York, LA's like all spread out and like compartmentalized and stuff. Not like in LA, all black people are like kind of concentrated here, and all the Asians are like here, and all the Mexicans are like here. Yeah, you know, rules are rules. You can't break the rules. But rules are kind of like penises. They can be bent. Yeah, it's weird having to talk about sex, right? Because you don't do sex, you have sex, right? It's like having a meal, you know? You got the first course, main course, intercourse, I'll tell us Lester. Yeah, you know, okay. You know, when you go to a Korean person's house, you have to take off your shoes, you know. It's not tradition or anything. We just want to make sure you're not stealing our chopsticks. My name's Ewan. I'm out here.